Shalom to the nation of Israel. First and foremost, before I get into my lesson, I want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders, a great millstone that teach and that rule well today. And peace and salutation to the fellow laborers that's in the ministry and the believers that scatter worldwide in all truth and sincerity, day in and day out. Once again, Shalom. So basically, I just want to get into a quick lesson, and the subject matter or the topic is going to be about when it comes to the biblical Edomites, okay, which is the so-called white race, okay, that's ruling today, that's in power, okay, mainly when it comes to the elites, okay, when it comes to these central bankers, okay, or the ones they call themselves the illuminated ones, okay, or have that title, okay, in particular when it comes to the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Oppenheimers, okay, as they call themselves, okay, all known as the 1% that's ruling, okay, and at this time, okay, which we know, according to the scriptures, Esau, Edom, is known as the wicked, according to Malachi 1 and 4, okay, and Yahweh Bashim Yahushua set them up to be the wicked, okay, and that's why you're seeing the earth so corrupt at this time, man. Okay, then also with Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Okay, when it comes to Esau, Edom, and at this time, okay, they trying to force the NWO. Okay, mainly by the way of the coming of a cashless society. Okay, that's going to lead to more as they trying to push a digital format or a digital currency. Okay, which we know that's the prophecy. That's going to come by the way of the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, according to Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. Okay, and in the midst of that, okay, they're going to, push their draconian laws, okay, strict legislations, okay, and also by the way of the sword, they blessing, okay, the sword when it comes to their military might. Okay, you hear more talks about martial law, detention centers, okay, the coming of lockdowns, curfews, okay, travel bans, more surveillance, okay, when it comes to these elites, man. Okay, hey, they want to bring in orchestrated, okay, famine, man-made famine, okay, pestilence, okay. They just want, bring the order out of chaos to have total control, man. Okay, but us that's in the faith, okay, us are the hopeful elect, okay, when it comes to us are the prophets, okay, have the understanding that eventually they're gonna fail when it comes to Yahweh Shai, who the world called Christ, return, man. And Yahweh Shai's come back to take them out of power when it comes to the peak of the Third World War, which we're about to enter into, okay? And at the peak of the Third World War, okay, Yahweh Shai's going to return by the way of the chariots, what the world called so-called UFOs, which are the vehicles of the angels, okay? And Yahweh Shai's come back to wage war against these nations, okay? In particular, Esau, Edom, when it comes to his power structure, okay, when it comes to their military might and these heathen nations at the peak of the Third World War. And at that time, the Lord going to allow these nations to shoot their missiles upon this place, America, okay, to be completely destroyed, okay, which this place, America, is known as Babylon the Great, and also it's the stronghold of Esau, Edom, okay, when it comes to his rulership, okay, and when it comes to his, basically, when it comes to his financial system, how they gain success through America, okay, especially by the way of the enslavement and the labor of the Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, okay, and these other nations now that being oppressed, okay, but Lord ain't concerned about these heathen nations, man, okay. The Lord only concerned about the nation of Israel when it comes to the so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, and at this time the elect, which considered the 144,000 and the 1/3 that's destined to be saved, okay, out of that great destruction, okay, when Yahweh shall return, okay, and the Lord being the covering of the elect in the midst and in the time of Jacob's trouble, okay, Yeah, because 2/3 of so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans at this time, they're going to be judged by the wrath of the Lord, okay, including the Lord allowing Esau, Edom, to come with that sword against them, okay? It could do to our people not repenting, not believing in the words of Yahweh Shema Shai by the way of the prophets, okay? Hey, so they're going to get caught up in the Lord's wrath, okay, or judgment, okay, which eventually they're going to be reborn back in the kingdom, okay? And that's what Yahweh Shai eventually about to do, okay? When it comes to the transition of power, establish a righteous kingdom here on the earth when it comes to Yahweh Shai rulership and the elect being joint heirs, okay, eventually, okay, in the land of Israel, okay, which that land going to be cleansed by the way of thermonuclear missiles, okay, by the way of missiles, when it comes to those individuals, those phonies over there, which are not the true inheritors of the land, and that land gonna be cleansed just for us to rightfully own our land again, okay, and it's gonna be built up by the elites of Esau, Edom, and these heathens that remain after the Third World War, okay, because that's the future of these elites, okay, when the Lord disappoint their NWO, when Yahweh Shai return, okay, hey, but when it comes to this place, America, once it totally destroyed by the way of missiles, and once the fire and smoke dies down, okay, one of the things that's going to inhabit this place is desert-like creatures, and they're never going to be built again by nations, okay? And so we come to the point in time, man, okay, of this place destruction. Like I said, when it comes to the 2/3 and these heathens, okay, when it comes to these heathen nations, which have no salvation, okay? And these heathen nations, they're going to be reborn, okay, in their next life to be on service, okay? Like I said, they're going to be reborn through the heathens that be reserved for captivity. Okay, so that's the future of these nations, man. Okay, starting off with the biblical Edomites. So right now we're in a transition of power, man. Okay, and a lot of our people, right along with the world, don't understand that. Okay, only the elect, okay, also the hopeful elect, knowing how things are going to turn out when it comes to the spiritual understanding of these scriptures through prophecy, man. Okay, that's about to be reality. Okay, that's going to come to pass. Okay, hey, so, for us, man, it's exhortation. Okay, it's motivation. Okay, to know that Yahweh Shema Shai is coming back to take our enemies out of power, man. Okay, starting with the Edomites, and eventually that we're gonna rule over these nations, man. Okay, everlasting rulership, and us being righteous forevermore, and Yahweh Shema Shai bringing forth righteousness. Okay, in the earth. Okay, once the kingdom is established. But I'm gonna start out with Job chapter 14, verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Okay, and that's going to Esau Edom. So it's a certain limit that he ain't gonna be able to pass, as Esau Edom trying to force the NWO. Okay, when it comes to these elites and these heathen nations that's in league with them. Okay, when it comes to these superpowers. Okay, like I say, when it comes to the elites, man. Okay, and so it's a specific time that the Lord ain't gonna allow them to fully establish the NWO. Okay, let's get this. What else? Yeah, let's get this. Job 12:16. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his. Okay, yeah, so Yahweh Shema Shai set up Esau Edom to be the deceiver. And those that being deceived by Esau Edom, the Lord had blinded them too. Okay, when it comes to 2/3 of our people and these heathen nations that's being enticed by the system or being going to get involved and join into that the NWO as they trying to push that the new system. Okay, especially when it comes to our people that take that RFID microchip. Okay, which the penalty of that, once again, 2/3 of our people that take it, they're gonna be destroyed by the way of thermonuclear missiles, according to Revelation chapter 14, verse 9. Okay, but the Lord set up Esau Edom, okay, to deceive, and at the same time, Esau Edom being deceived by Yahweh Shema Shai, okay, through the spiritual demon Satan, okay, because Esau Edom, he get his power, which is the left hand side of the Heavenly Father, by the way of Satan, okay, but Satan got them deceived, thinking they trying to forge this NWO and establish it, and thinking they're gonna rule forever, okay. Matter of fact, let's get this. Job chapter 5, verse 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform the enterprise. Okay, that's going to Esau Edom. Okay, trying to forge the NWO, but they're going to be disappointed. Okay, first of all, starting off with the prophets, exposing them. Okay, and by the way, the word of the Lord through the Spirit. Okay, and eventually Yahweh shall return to disappoint them when Yahweh shall return and establish the kingdom of Israel and take Esau, Edom, and his seeds out of power. Okay, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. Okay, yeah, because even amongst these elites at this time, okay, they got trouble trying to, come on a common ground to bring the NWO. Okay, so the Lord got them divided. Okay, and like I said, Esau Edom through the power that Lord gave him. Okay, he trying to establish his NWO. Okay, when it comes to eventually, when it comes to his advanced technology that the Lord gave him. That's why you hear more about AI. Okay, like I say, more about the coming of the RFID micro. Okay, the coming of more surveillance. Okay, when it comes to them trying to have total control, man. Okay, but the Lord got them divided. Okay, and eventually the Lord going to disappoint them once again. And it says they meet with darkness in the daytime and group in the noonday as in the light. Okay, so the Lord got them, basically confused, man. Okay, once again, the Lord said that the deceiver and the deceived are his, man. So basically, Esau Edom in the trick bag, man. Okay, yeah, because now this time they trying to get rid of through their technology, they trying to get rid of a higher existence. Okay, as the Heavenly Father and the Son, they don't want to, through technology. Okay, they want to obsolete the God or the Bible itself, Lord's people. Okay, especially when it comes to us or the hopeful elect. Okay, they want to try to cut us off as a nation. Okay, but the Lord gonna disappoint them, man. Okay. You hear more about transhumanism, AI robots taking over. Okay. That's it on that. Let me get this. Let's get this. I'm gonna stay in Job for right now. Job chapter 20, verse 4. Knowest thou this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Okay? And so the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Okay, and his triumphing is short. Okay, and we what coming up, we're in the time of America 250th year, okay, of rulership or ever since existence. Okay, they're celebrating that now. Okay, and we know when it comes to certain information that when it comes to certain kingdoms, okay, they reach their peak and their downfall come, okay, about the time of their 250 year anniversary or rulership. Okay, and we clearly seeing that coming out when it comes to this place America. Okay, and so really the time is short compared to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay, let's get this. Job chapter 20, verse 22. And it says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in disgrace, and every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Okay, and it's disgrace, man. He in disgrace once again when it comes to the NWO. Okay, and if you go into that word wicked there, okay, when it comes to the blue letter, okay, that word wicked, okay, goes into the labors. Okay, that's why you're seeing also not only that the prophets through the words of Yahweh Shema Shah exposed to Esau Edom, but you even got through the internet, okay, their own tongue falling upon them, okay, their own counterparts, okay, coming out with information, okay, to as they got these saying that the truthers, okay, those that woke, exposing Esau Edom when it comes to these elites agenda, okay, whistleblowers, okay, people that was once part of those secret councils, okay, or secret societies coming out, exposing them, okay, certain information when it comes to certain, books, videos, documentaries, okay, because Esau Edom, the wicked being exposed, man. Okay, look at lately, the boy, Fauci, that being on trial, okay, when it comes to the whole, CV19, how that all that was a fraud, a money game. Okay, and also led to a lot of people being unalive when it comes to those JABs. And I'm trying to be careful. Okay, but now they got him on trial, and now he's being pardoned. Okay, he's pleading the fifth. Okay, but the whole point is that they being exposed, man. Okay, and eventually Yahweh Shem Yahushua going to get these Edomites that think they're going to get off scot-free when it comes to their wickedness. Okay, and it says, when he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him. It shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Okay, going to the Lord going to disappoint him. Okay, when it comes to the destruction. Okay, of Esau Edom. Okay. So just as they think they're going to capitalize on the NWO, that's when Lord really going to bring the destruction upon them. Let's get this. Psalms chapter 2, verse 1. Why do the heathens rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Yeah, when it comes to Esau Edom. Okay, and these heathen nations, they're trying to establish an NWO. Okay, now we on the time, we in the time of their downfall, man. Okay, so it's vain thinking they're going to try to establish the NWO, man. The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands in asunder and cast away their cords from us. Yeah, so that's what they want to do. Continue on to oppress us and cut us off as a nation when it comes to the so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans. Okay, but the Lord is gathering the elect. Okay, when it comes to the 144,000 and 1/3. Okay, to be joint heirs with Yahushua. Okay, when Yahushua return to bring deliverance and set up the kingdom. Okay, but Esau Edom and these heathens in the back of their mind, okay, they think they're gonna cut us off and cut our power off from us, man. Okay, and it says, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, and Lord shall have them in derision. Hey, once again, being deceived. Okay, when it comes to Esau Edom, okay, the Lord got him deceived, man. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sword of pleasure. And yet have I set my king upon the holy hill of Zion. I will declare the decree, and the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua has said unto me, thou art my son, this day I have begotten thee. Okay, and so that's the Lord about to do a role reversal. Okay, the transition of power, man. Okay, so that's it on that. Let me see let's get this. Obadiah chapter 1. I'm gonna start at verse 6. And it says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are these hidden things sought up? Okay, they being exposed, Esau Edom. Okay, for the wicked, and how corrupt they are, man. Okay, when it comes to their shameful history. Okay, Habakkuk 2 and 16. Okay, to the point that all these nations ready to fight against Esau Edom. Okay, to come against, especially over here in the West. Okay, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. And they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Okay, so these nations ready to come against America. Okay, a lot of these nations are dropping the dollar. Okay, you got the BRICS nations forming their own currency. Okay, when it comes to the BRICS, okay, BR, the acronym BRICS, okay, which stand for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Okay, and other nations that join into, basically when it comes to the BRICS nation, when it comes to Russia and China leading the way of that type of currency that they want to bring and to leave America out of it, man. Okay, which eventually those BRICS nations, they're gonna go cashless. Okay, because over there in China and Russia, they pushing digital format. Okay, when it comes to the RFID micro. Okay, but they want to leave America out of it when it comes to doing business. Okay, but once America collapse, okay, all these nations gonna collapse. There's gonna be a domino effect. Okay, when it comes to the dollar, man. Okay, so that's it on that. Um, let's get this. Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 10. I had made Esau bare, and I had uncovered his secret place. He should not be able to hide himself. Yeah, so Esau, you can't hide yourself no more. Okay, we found out that they're not the Lord's chosen people. They're not a God-fearing nation. That they the wicked that the Bible speak of. Okay. That we finding out, when it comes to the NWO, how they really feel, okay, towards the God of the Bible. Okay, and the Lord's chosen people. Okay, us the Israelites, man, the true biblical Hebrew Israelites, man. Okay, we seen how corrupt Esau Edom is. Okay, and it says, his seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors are not. Okay, that's why it's gonna come a point. Okay, as we in the information age, they're gonna want to come with censorship. Okay, regulating the internet. Okay, when it comes to freedom of speech. Okay, especially when it comes to the prophets. Okay, as they want to try to get us off the highways and byways, this word off the internet, and other controversy topics that exposing their agenda, exposing their history. Okay, so they're gonna come with censorship. Okay, which is gonna lead to Amos 8 and 11, the coming of the famine of the word. Okay, so this is the time now for you Negro, Latino, and Native Americans to seek the prophets while they may can be found. Okay, Isaiah 55 and 6. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call upon him while he is near. Because eventually the Lord will remove his prophets. Okay, Amos 8 and 11. Bringing in the famine of the word, man. Okay. And it says, leave thy fatherless children, and I will preserve them alive, and let thy widows trust in me. Okay, because like I said, you're going to have the heathen nations start with the Edomites after the destruction of America and the great salvation and the deliverance of the nation of Israel, starting with the elect. Their future, okay, of the elites and the other nations that remain, okay, they're going to go into captivity, okay, upon us. Okay, Revelation chapter 13, verse 9, Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 16 and 17, okay, and they're going to be unto us. We're going to have them in captivity, okay, and we're going to take these heathen nation women, okay, they're going to be concubines unto us, okay, their children going to be servants unto us, and our children, okay, they're going to be servants unto our children, man, okay, and it says, for this say the Lord, behold, those whose judgment was not to drink of the cup has surely drunken. Art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. Yeah, because we went off as a nation, and the Lord punished us. The Lord put the curses upon us, according to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verses 16 through 68. Okay? Hey, but the Lord going to have, as it says in Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1, the Lord shall have mercy on Jacob and yet choose Israel, starting with the elect. Okay? And in our kingdom, we're going to be righteous. And the law, statute, commandments are going to be in our inward part, which issuing the new covenant. And when it comes to the curses, the Lord going to take the curses off of us and put it on our enemies, starting with the Edomites, man. Okay? And that's the cup they're going to have to drink of, okay? Slavery, right along with the curses, or the Lord's wrath, or judgment upon them, okay? For that 1,000-year period. And after the first 1,000-year period in the kingdom, the only nation that's going to be done away with is the biblical Edomites as a whole, okay? According to Obadiah 1 and 18, okay? But for that first 1,000-year period in the kingdom, they're going to have to build our kingdom up, okay? And they're going to have to be judged, man, okay? By us, okay? Through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the authority of the Lord, man. Okay? And that's what we're hasting and waiting for, man. Let me get this and I'll get ready to close. Yeah, so we come to that transition of power. Second Esdras chapter 6, verse 6. Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other. Okay, this is Yahweh talking to the prophet Esdras, giving them the end time. Okay, the times that we're in. And it says, by me also they shall be ended, and by none other. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting of the sunder of times? And it says, and when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that follow? And he saith unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac. And when Jacob and Esau was born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, okay, the end of this age. Esau Edom rulership, okay. And Jacob is the beginning of it that follow, okay, when Yahweh shall return and establish the kingdom of Israel, okay, the transition of power, okay, a new age, a new rulership. And it says, the hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand, and other questions Ezra asked thou not. Okay, so we coming to the time of the transition of power, man. Okay, Esau Edom, the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. Okay, but we know, of course, in Revelation chapter 12, okay, Esau coming with that, about to come down with that great wrath, because he know if he had but a short time left. Okay, especially when it comes to the tribes, man. Okay, let me see. And once again, like I say, so the Lord set up Esau Edom, and now he about to be taken out of power. Yeah, so basically that's it. I'll end it there. And I pray that lesson with edifying. Till next time, Lord willing. Shalom to the whole elect. Shalom.